This one's going to be in honor of Windows XP's death yesterday. On April the 8th of 2014, they ended their support after 13 years. Well, it's not fully dead because some other people are paying Microsoft to keep it alive. But for the general user, there is no more support. And so if you're using Windows XP, you should upgrade to a newer either Windows system, or Windows operating system, or just coming over to Linux, and you have all these free software. And if you need to learn it, just watch a few YouTube videos and you're good to go. Not that hard. Anyways, what we're going to do is learn how to remote desktop into a Windows machine. So I'm going to show you for Windows XP and Windows 7. And it should be similar to all the other Windows operating system also. But we're going to use rdesktop for Linux, and we're going to remote into a Windows machine that way. So first thing you need to do is enable the remote desktop on your Windows machine. So on Windows XP, all you gotta do is right click on my computer here. You go to properties, and then you have this remote tab here. So you click on remote and you enable this one here. It says allow users to connect remotely, and then here you click on select remote user, and you have this new window here. You click on add, and you click on advanced, and what is that? You click on find now, and you have all these users, and you select the ones that you want to add. You can select multiple ones if you want, and all you do is you hit OK, and this one will fill out the users with the the groups and all that, and you hit OK, and then your user should be able to be on here, and then you hit OK, and that's it. It saves it, right? So that's how you do it for Windows XP. Now let's switch over to Windows 7. So this is my Windows 7 version, remote desktop also. So in here, if you want to do that, it's pretty much the same thing. You click on Start menu, you right click on my computer here, Properties, right? And in here on the side here, it says Remote Settings. And for this part, you want to select the second one, because this one's like what it says here, allow connections from computers using or running any version of remote desktop, and this one says less secure, so that's the one you should go with. And then you select on users, and here you pretty much do the same thing that we did on Windows XP over here, right? Same shit. You click on add, and then you click on advanced, and you find now, and then here you can select different users if you want. So I have a couple here, and I click on OK, and it pre-fills it for me, and I can hit OK and it'll add it. But I'm hitting cancel. I already have my users I want. So there you go. That's how you would add the user, and you hit OK to save it and everything. So that's how you do that to enable remote desktop to that computer, either Windows XP or 7. Now the second thing you need to do is actually find the IP of that computer. And to do that on Windows 7, you just do hit Windows key and type in CMD, and then hit enter, right? And this one will bust out your command prompt, and you just type in ipconfig, and they'll tell you your IP address here. This is actually my internal IP address, so your router IP. If you want to connect this over the internet, you have to find out your real IP. You just go to Google and type in what is my IP, and they'll tell you your real IP. Otherwise, for this one, we're just gonna use our router IP, okay? And this one's 192.168.1.79, right? And same thing for in Windows XP here. If you want to open command prompt, you type in, or you type the hotkey for it is Windows and R, and this is your run command. And all you do is type in CMD, hit enter, and in here you just type in the same thing, ipconfig, and this one will tell your IP here. So R is 192.168.1.221 for Windows XP, right? So those are the two IPs that you need to know for our internal connection here. And so let me show you how to use this thing with our Linux machine. Alright, so this one, let me close out both of them here. And we're going to do Windows XP first, okay? So make sure you install this program called rdesktop. It should be in your repositories. And you can just type in the IP if you want, you know, the IP of the place. Otherwise, I usually like to add these other flags in here. So I know I have the username is administrator, right? And I know I want my geometry. This is basically like your resolution and all that. You can do multiple ways. You can do like a percentage, like 100%, or like 90%. But those ones are not very accurate, so that's why I like to using, you know, the actual resolution that I want. So for this one, I do for my mono resolution, I do this, right? And my height is actually 1080, but I minus 40 pixels because I have this little bar at the bottom here, and that takes about maybe, you know, 30 or 40 or whatever around there. So that's why I have this one here, not at my max. Because my max, let me show you my max first here. X Randar. Right, so this is my monitor here. It's 1080 for the height here. But I didn't use that one. So anyways, what did we do before? rdesktop. If I spell it right, rdesktop dash U administrator. Dash G. And put that pretty here. 40. And the IP that we want to use, so the IP was 192.168.1, and for Windows XP was 221, right? And that's how you can connect to it. Pretty easy here. And you will log in like you normally do. And there you go, we're back to normal, right? Now sometimes if you're doing this maybe over the internet or something like that, you might have to port forward this port here, because right now this is our internal IP, right? But the default port that they use for Windows Remote Desktop is that is 3389. So if you're doing this like really over like a firewall or something like that, you might have to enable that port on your firewall or your router if you need to like port forwarding. So that's the default port. I believe you can change it too, but that's not what I do for this video, right? So that's how you connect if you're using a port, and then you hit enter, and you'll log in like you normally do, right? And you can use you know, whatever other Windows application you have for that. So we'll switch over to what was that, Windows 7. Alright, so we're going to go to another desktop here. And in here, so we'll do the same thing. So our desktop, and this one was that, our username. I have a different username for this one. And the geometry, we'll use the same thing, times 1040. And the IP was 9192.168.79 for this one here. We'll actually do the ports too, why not? 3389, right? And that's how you connect to my Windows 7 machine here. So we hit enter, and now look at that, we just log in our user here. Let's type it right. There we go. And there we go, we're back to our Windows 7 machine here, right? If you want, well, right now we're not forwarding the sound either, because if we do, let's see here, let's go to our sound, right? There's no sound here. You can see if I hit this sound volume here, there's no sound. But if you want to actually receive sound over the network to your local machine, your local Linux machine, you can actually do that with rdesktop also. So all you gotta do is the same thing that we did before, but at the end here, or anywhere I guess, you can do a -R flag, and you type in sound, and this will route it back to your local machine. So you do this, right, and then we'll log in again. I'll log in this sucker. And now, when we do our sound test here, look at this. Hopefully you guys can hear that, but there's the sound there, and you can actually do that I probably wouldn't recommend sound if you're trying to watch a video or something like that, but maybe for like testing purposes, you know, here and there, then that's okay. But definitely not for games or any of that or movies. It'll be just too slow in my opinion. So that's it for that. And the last thing I'll probably say is there's this hotkey. It's Ctrl Alt Enter. So that's Ctrl Alt Enter to toggle full screen. And I can't show you right now because it'll mess up my screencast. But that's if you want to get out of Windows mode and go to full screen, and it'll actually take up you know, your whole monitor. But I have a dual monitor set up and it looks kind of weird, so I can't show you right now. But it's Ctrl Alt Enter, and that will give you the taskbar if you didn't have the taskbar before, and it will toggle in, you know, full screen to window screen. Anyways, Ctrl Alt Enter, just use that during your rdesktop session. And this is how I would use, you know, Windows if I really need to. And this is actually my virtual machine on my server. So this is how I log into my server without using, you know, the VirtualBox crap. I'm just using, well, I leave the VirtualBox on, but I'm just using to remote desktop into the VirtualBox like this. All right. And you can use this with, what is that? I got Microsoft Word here if I wanted to use Word. What are the ones I have in here? I don't know, Excel, if I need to use Excel, so on and so forth. If I want to use Windows XP, I just switched over to here. And I can use Windows XP stuff if I needed to. What does they have in here? Yeah, so you get the idea, right? You can use this to remote connect to multiple machines, multiple Windows machines if you want. So you can switch back and forth between your workspaces if you need to use both. Depending on your computer that you're running it on, my computer is pretty powerful for handling multiple machines, virtual machines that is. But that's it for rdesktop. Pretty cool program to remote connect to a Windows machine. And this one should work with, I believe, Windows 8 too, maybe. I'm not sure. I haven't tried that one. But definitely up to Windows 7. All the other ones should work doing the same method. Just enable the thing and get the IP, and then you know, run the command, and there you go. That's all you gotta do. Anyways, that's it for this one. The death of Windows XP. Make sure you get a new operating system, whether it's a new Windows or just use Linux, and then, you know, you'll be able to get support. That'll be it for this one.